last week. Just give me 1 second. Just make sure I get started everywhere. All right, y'all. Give me one moment here. All right, that started. Make sure I start over on the YouTube. Just give me 1 second. I'm just making sure that it started over on YouTube. All right, cool. So it started over on the YouTube. All right, so it started all over on the YouTube. I'm just making sure that we're good here. All right, just got to go ahead and post this on my YouTube, and then we'll be good. All right. All right, cool. We are started on the YouTube. All right, y'all. Go ahead and tap that screen. Go ahead and tap that screen, y'all. Go ahead and tap that screen. I do appreciate y'all being here. If you would like to talk about what I have on the board, you can either call in or you can request. The request box is open. The call-in line is open as well. So if you want to talk about what I have on the board, you can definitely call in, and I would appreciate any conversation we're meant to have. I'm only going to be on for about an hour and a half, y'all. Everybody who would like to talk to me gets about 15 minutes. I'm going to be on for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. That'll be it. Then I'm going out tonight. So if you would like to talk to me, go ahead and hit that button. Make sure I put this in my YouTube. Just let me know how y'all think how is y'all doing out there. I hope y'all doing well out there. I hope y'all having a good night. I hope y'all having a good weekend. And like I said, if you would like to talk about what I have on the board. All right, good. Does good mean you like it? Well, it means more than that. But call in or request up. If you can't call in, request up if you can't call in, but definitely call in. And I want to, if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it more. I don't like going back and forth in the comments because by the time I explain something, you're going to say something else. I'm going to miss that comment. So you might as well just request up and we talk about it more instead of, going back and forth in the comments, if that makes sense. That's the reason why I say I don't like talking to comments, because by the time I say something, you might have made another comment that I'm gonna miss. You know what I mean? It's not real time. You know what I mean? I just don't like to do that. Let's just go ahead and call in or request up, and then we can go ahead and have that back and forth discussion instead of trying to catch each other, All right, so the phone number is on the board, y'all. 786-751-7853. You can go ahead and call in and definitely have that conversation. 786-751-7853. What's going on? I was going Koi over on my YouTube. I appreciate you with the fire emojis, y'all. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. 786-753-7. I'm sorry, 786-751-7853. Go ahead and call in. And if you would like to talk about what I have on the board, I would appreciate answering the conversation. If you are over on TikTok, you can go ahead and request up as well. Keep tapping that screen so we can get the conversations going. Oh, we do have a call. How's it going? Can I have your name, age, and did you disagree with what I had on the board? Oh, yeah, he dropped. All right, immature people. All right. Hey, how's it going? I'm sorry, is your name Daka or Dara?
Dara. Dara.
Dara, how's it going, Dara? Are you at least 18? And what did you want to talk about that I had on the board?
Yes, I'm above 18, and um so all of the points that you listed are, discussable. But why should I believe there is no God?
Why
Why?
should you believe there is no God?
Yes.
You should
Why?
believe in you should
Mhm.
always believe in things that have evidence to support their case. And because the God claims don't have evidence to support their case, there's no reason for you to actually believe it, or no good reason for you to actually believe it, because they haven't supported their case yet. They haven't proven themselves to be true. And I think everybody should believe in as much true things as possible, and as much things that they can prove to, or actually have evidence that they actually are true.
Okay, that's good. But at the same time, whoever believing that there is no God is also, that's also by itself is a belief, right?
No, not having a belief is not itself a belief. That's like saying off is a TV channel. That won't make any sense.
It does make sense because because you're saying there is no God. That's a claim by itself.
I didn't say that.
Oh, so you say there is a God?
No, I didn't. I'm not saying that there is a God. I'm not saying that there's not a God. I'm saying that
So
I have no reason
what
to
are you
believe there.
then?
I'm saying that I have no reason to believe that there is. Therefore, I'm not going to believe it. For example, I have no
So
reason to believe that you're the Queen of Australia. So why would I believe that?
I mean, so you are expecting others to explain to you, but you have no. Okay.
I didn't say explain anything to me. I said,
Hmm.
is there a why should I believe in one? Is there good evidence for one? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. And if you're saying that, oh well, you can't show me that there's not one, that's not a reason for me to believe it. That just shows
Okay,
that.
so one thing that most convinced me about the existence of God is that no science has have ever proven to me where the origin of this universe is coming from. Nobody explained that. They say, there was a, super highly condensed matter which has exploded in some time, and then we came up. Okay, so where that condensed matter came up.
Well,
What is that source?
that's a massive oversimplification of what the science actually says. It wasn't an explosion; it was an expansion of space time. And when you ask
It's
where
a
did
big
that,
bang. No, 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 big
hold
bang.
on, listen to what I'm saying. It's not an explosion.
Mhm.
Big Bang is
Okay.
is a misnomer. What they're talking about is an expansion of space time, right? And it wasn't anywhere in space. It
Expansion
was,
from where?
hey,
Expansion from where?
Dara. If you
Okay,
want
go
the
ahead.
actual explanation, you need to listen.
Mhm. Okay, go ahead.
What they're talking about is an expansion of space time. And you said expanding from where? Everywhere.
Mhm.
I know that, and
From
I know that doesn't sound uh like intuitive to us, because for human beings things begin and they have an end. That's how it is for us. We're linear, right? But physics doesn't really work that way. So these are things that do have explanations. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not the best person to explain it. You should talk to a physicist. But to simply say that, I don't understand it, therefore it's not real, it's kind of dumb.
I mean, at the same time, you're not pointing it to anything. If you are claiming that space is expanding, there should be a point that where it started. If you are saying there is a time that counting on, there should be a beginning point.
Right,
So
but
I'm
they didn't.
asking
Hold on,
for any
listen.
science. Uh huh.
Dara. Listen, that's I already told you that's because of the way that humans think. In human convention, things start at a certain point and things start somewhere, because we're linear
Yes.
beings. We understand space, but that's not how the Big Bang was. The Big Bang didn't start at a certain point. It was everywhere. I know that doesn't
No,
sound.
no,
I know.
no,
Hold on.
no, no,
Hold
no.
on, Dara.
You,
Let me finish.
I mean, I know the
I know.
definition, and then you are
Dara.
you
Hold
are
on, bro.
making
Dara,
another
hold on.
definition which the
Dara,
science doesn't
I'm
say.
going to need you to actually hold on and let me explain,
Go ahead.
because you're
I
not.
mean, you did already, though.
No, I didn't. You're interrupted.
Okay.
Whenever they say that the Big Bang didn't start at a certain point, it was everywhere. I know that sounds crazy to you because that's not how human beings work, but that's what the physics tells us. So it didn't start anywhere or at a certain point in time or at a certain point in space. It was everywhere.
Can you give me one person or one scholar who is define or who explain Big Bang that way?
Richard
The
Dawkins.
term based on
Richard Dawkins,
Big Bang.
Stephen Richard Dawkins, Stephen
Can you
Hawkins.
pull it up?
Hmm?
Can you pull it up?
No, you
Yes,
pull
can
it
you
up. I'm
show
not
us?
gonna pull it up for you. You do it.
I mean,
Why? Hold on, hold on.
you
Why do you,
explaining
hold on,
that.
Dara? Why do you want me to do this? How come you haven't looked it up yet?
Because you are making up.
No, I'm not making this up.
Yes, you are making this up.
No, I'm not
Because
making this up.
Big Bang.
Dara. Have you ever actually looked up the Big Bang?
Yes,
And what did it say?
several times.
And what did it say?
So what it says that is, you can simply take the different. I mean, the term by itself, Big Bang. There was some certain.
Okay, so you never looked it up. You never looked it up. You never looked it up. The moment, hold on, Dara. The moment you said that, hold on, Dara. The moment, hold on. The moment you said that, that's how I knew you didn't look it up, Dara.
No,
The moment you said that, I knew you didn't look it up. The moment you said that, I knew you didn't look it up because the first thing you said was just look at the terms Big Bang. Once you said that, I know you didn't look it up. I know for sure. What does the Big Bang actually say?
How?
And what you say? Hold on. I'm gonna let you go. I want you to tell me what the Big Bang actually says, right? And I'm 90% sure you're gonna be wrong. Go ahead and tell me what it says.
So what it said is that there was a matter which was condensed, having high temperature and pressure, and at a certain point it just blown up, and then things, all the materials in the space, they started moving all over the space. So that is what they could. That is why today they say space is moving and expanding and something like that. So the expansion started from that point.
Yeah,
that's
how
what they say.
no, actually, what it says is that it was an expansion of space-time. Nothing blew up. That's how I know you didn't look it up. Nothing blew up, bro. You're looking at the word. You're looking at the word bang and thinking that it was an explosion. That's not what it says.
I'm telling you,
an expansion of space-time. An expansion of space-time is not something blowing up. That's how I know you didn't look it up.
I'm telling you, all the references that I cannot just.
You're lying.
I'm using them.
You're lying.
Yes.
Because
no, I'm not lying.
Dara, tell me one source that said that the Big Bang was something blowing up. Tell me one source that says that.
I mean, you said I'm not gonna give me, so why would I give you?
No, I said I'm not gonna pull it up on the screen because you should look this up already.
I am using my phone too, so I'm not gonna put it up for you. I'm just,
I know you're using your phone, but I know that you're lying because there is no source. There is no source that says that the Big Bang was something blowing up. No source says that. So I know you're lying. No source says that, bro. I know you're lying when you say that. No source says the Big Bang was something blowing up. None of them. That's how I know you're lying. Hell, you want me to pull it up? All right, cool. Let's pull it up. Was the Big Bang an explosion? While an explosion of a man-made bomb expands through air, the Big Bang did not expand through anything, which is exactly what I said. That's because there was no space to expand through at the beginning of time. Rather, physicists believe the Big Bang created and stretched space itself, expanding the universe. So nothing blew up. That's how I know you're lying. You didn't look this up. Hell, let's do this. Let's see if I can display the image. There it is. My bad, actually. My bad. Hold on. Let's do this. There it is. There it is. So can you read that? The Big Bang did not expand through anything. So there was nothing blowing up. Got anything else? All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on. We do got a call 646. You're gonna be up next. I do appreciate everybody who's here. Y'all keep tapping that screen, y'all. Keep tapping that screen. I appreciate everybody who's here. I appreciate all the support. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. All right, 646. Can I get your name and what did you disagree that I had on the board? Hello. 646. You're on the air. All right, call back. All right, we're gonna move on to 267. 267, you are gonna be up on the
Hello?
screen. How's it going, 267? Can
No,
I get your name,
I'm not.
age, and
That's what
did you
you mean.
disagree with what I had on the board? 267, you're there? All right, there's gonna be a delay. You need to shut that off for you to hear me.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes. Are you hearing me now?
My butthole hurts.
All right. Go ahead and keep liking the live, y'all, and keep sharing, keep liking and keep sharing. I do appreciate you all being here. Y'all go ahead and keep tapping that screen. We're gonna go ahead and move on to more calls. Let's see. This better not be the same person.
Hello.
646. How's it going, 646? Can I get your name, age, and did you disagree with what I had on the board?
Okay. Hi. I had a question in regards to points.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. Do we need to pray for your connection because I hear you, but you're not saying anything. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on. All right, so everybody who's in my YouTube chat that wants to crash out and tell me to get a job, my job is banging your mom. Yeah, I mean that's my job. After I come from my regular 9 to 5, my other job is banging your mom. So that's my job. All right, so ICE is doing a good thing. I don't think people raping people is a good thing. So you can go ahead and call in and tell me why you think that's a good thing. All right. The person who says that they keep trying, but it keeps hanging up, go ahead and try again. You can go ahead and call me again right now. Try again, and we'll see if we can get you on. Try again. We'll see. We'll go ahead and get you on. All right, so like I said, y'all, go ahead and keep tapping that screen. Keep tapping that screen. I appreciate everybody who's here. Shout out to everyone who's also on the Deconstruction Junction and everyone who's watching me from the Black Atheist Coalition. I appreciate y'all there. If you're watching me over on Deconstruction Junction, I appreciate you. And if you're watching me on the Black Atheist Coalition, I appreciate you. And if you're watching me from my channel over on Vossy Thoughts, I appreciate you there as well. If you would like to call in, if it hung up, go ahead and try again. We're gonna have to go ahead and pray for your connection. I don't know what's going on there, but go ahead and try to call in. I'm just waiting for a call right now. If you're over on TikTok, you can go ahead and call in as well. We're just going to go ahead and wait for another caller. Option over on my YouTube said that he was going to try again. So we're just going to go ahead and wait for that. Wait for someone to try, and then we could go ahead and get that popping. All right, cool. All right, 619. How's it going, 619? Can I get your name, age, and did you disagree with what I had on the board? Hey, what is going on with y'all phones, bro? Because I'm saying stuff, but no one's speaking. Do you hear me, 619? Hello? All right, we're going to move on to 412. 412, how's it going? 412. Can I get your name, age, and what did you want to talk about?
You're next.
Hello, 412.
I'm a
You got-
transgender woman. Can I keep your number?
All right. We're gonna go ahead and keep on moving. I appreciate y'all. I do appreciate y'all. Why did you call and hang up? Jesus Christ, bro. How you gonna tell me that you're gonna call, then you call and hung up? Oh, the reason it hung up. All right. So the reason it hung up because I'm saying hello and y'all not saying anything. You're probably gonna have to turn off the stream if you want to talk to me because like I'm saying hello and then no one answers. So if you don't answer, I'm just gonna go ahead and hang up. I'm thinking no one's there. All right, y'all keep tapping that screen. Keep tapping that screen. Like I said, I appreciate y'all being here. We're gonna go ahead and wait for more callers. We're gonna wait for anybody else to come in. All right. And like I said, y'all, like I say all the time, we're gonna talk to 619 one more time. 619, you there?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello? (619), can you hear me? Yo, what is going on with y'all phones, bro? What is going on with y'all phones? Yeah, dropped again. Dropped again. I don't know what's going on with y'all phones, but y'all gonna have to go ahead and figure that out. Yeah. Pray for y'all connection, please. Oh, we can pin comments now. All right, cool. Hey, we can pin comments to the TikTok queue now. That's pretty dope. All right, y'all. So if you would like to have that discussion, if you like to debate, go ahead and call in to go ahead and call in or request up to debate. If you are over on TikTok, go ahead and request up. If you are over on the YouTube or any other platform, go ahead and call in, and we can definitely have that discussion. We can definitely have that debate. Again, I appreciate anybody who would like to have that discussion. Anyone who would like to call in. Once more, y'all wonderful, and I appreciate any discussion that anyone can give me. And we can go ahead and just go down the list. So my topics today is being woke is good, asking why should I be a conservative, why should I believe in any God, holy books are claims and not evidence, and to abolish ICE. 412, how's it going? 412, can I get your name, age, and what did you want to talk about?
I'm calling you.
Turn off the stream in the background. Otherwise, you're gonna have the delay, and I can't hear you. Hello.
Don't scream it so loud.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm so worried.
All right, y'all. I'm not gonna be doing this today, y'all. Like, I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds to say something. If you don't say nothing, I'm just gonna hang up. What is going on with y'all today, man? What is going on with y'all today, man? Like, are y'all okay? Like, what is happening, y'all? Y'all good? Like, y'all okay, man? Like, what is happening? Yeah, something is definitely wrong with your signal. Something's definitely wrong with your signal because like no one is coming through at all. Is it the storm? I don't know because I heard there was a storm going on.
Hello?
Yeah, how's it going, 412? Can I get your name, age, and what you want to talk about?
Feces. I shove them in my eyes, and I shove them in my butt. Yeah, feces. Feces. I like feces. I like feces.
Is that all?
Feces.
I heard you say those things.
Is that all? Or you had more? Did you have an adult that want to talk to me, or was that it?
I like feces.
Okay, cool.
I like feces.
All right, cool. Did was there an adult in the room?
Don't scream so loud. And you hear it came from that?
Mm-hmm.
This is stupid.
All right. We're going to go ahead and drop that call. Cool. Let me go ahead and probably also block that person. Cool. All righty. Yeah, that was really productive. All right, so I'm not sure what's going on today. People are just not coming through. The signal is, I don't know, the signal seems to be bad, not coming through. But if you're over on my TikTok, go ahead and tap that screen. I appreciate y'all for tapping that screen. If you are watching me over from the YouTube or any other platform, you can go ahead and call in. That's one of the most rational things. Oh man, that is funny. Yeah, that person had to be at least 5 years old. I think there's person. I think their parents are basically just letting them play around on the phone and not really paying attention. That's probably what's going on. That's probably what's going on. Their parents are just letting them play on the phone. But all right, guys, go ahead and keep tapping that screen. We're just waiting for more callers to come in. Once again, if you're calling me over, or if you're watching me forward from the Deconstruction Junction, if you're watching me on the Black Atheist Coalition, if you're watching me over on the Volsky Thoughts channel, I do appreciate you. Hey, how's it going, McTime? I appreciate you there being McTime. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is definitely that last call was definitely an issue of basically children running the house, I guess. All right, y'all. So we're still waiting for any call in or any guests. We did have one guest here over on the TikTok. What's kind of funny about this is that whenever I go live on my phone, I do get guests. But whenever I'm on TikTok Studio, because I want to do some more of this, I get more callers than I do TikTok guests. So once again, if you are looking to have this discussion, go ahead and not only tap that screen, but also request up. Also request up. I appreciate anybody who would like to have this type of discussion. And I did have someone earlier who was, talking, but suddenly just dropped out. What up, y'all? What up? What up? What's going on, McTime? I appreciate you, bro. All right, y'all. I do know there's a few people going on now. Yeah, go ahead and keep on watching. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate all the support, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna wait for more callers to come in. I may switch the topic up. We'll see if we can try to get some more people in. Let's see. We're gonna see if we could get some more people in. Maybe I'll do one of those lives where I don't know. Well, what I'll do, review music or some shit. I don't know. If we don't get any callers, if we don't get anybody to come in, We'll see what happens then. Let me know if y'all can hear that. I know y'all hear that, right? Yeah, I see perfect days and dreams come true. I said, other day, and I said, I choose. Where are you? With a cure eye view. I don't know the lyrics, y'all. All right, as an agnostic, what makes you sure God doesn't exist? I'm not sure God doesn't exist. I never make those claims. All right, we're gonna go ahead. I'm not sure if this is the same person.
I'm not a minor, actually, so be quiet. And
All right, we're gonna go ahead into 267. All right, 267. How's it going, 267? Can I get your name, age, and what did you want to talk about?
I'm a poop pea. I eat all.
All right. You said, why should you believe in a God? That's why I thought maybe you're an atheist. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any gods. That's what atheism means. Just lack of belief. Atheism is a lack of a belief in a God. Like the same way that people don't believe in Santa Claus is the same way I don't believe in a God. Let's see. All right, who was McChief over on the deconstruction junction? Do you just copy paste the same thing into every atheist chat? Miss Chief, did you want to call in and talk? Let me ask Miss Chief. Miss Chief, did you want to call in and talk? All right, yeah, but for Rhea, yeah, I'm what you would call agnostic atheist. I don't make a claim that God doesn't exist, but I don't have a reason to believe in one. So I just don't believe. And that's what it is. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and keep the stream going. The last two callers, I already banned them. Those are banned callers. We're not gonna have children tie up the line. We're gonna go ahead and try to have some sort of adult conversations. Keep tapping that screen, y'all. We are just waiting for people to come in. It's a slow start. Unfortunately, it's a slow start, but we're just waiting for people to come in. And then once we start getting guests, I hope we can get some guests. I hope we get some people to watch. I do see someone either watching over either on the Facebook or the Twitch. If you're watching over on Facebook and Twitch, I appreciate you. The call-in number is right there. You can go ahead and call in, and we can have that discussion on whatever you want to talk about. All right. And don't think that I don't appreciate y'all if y'all watching me over on the Varsity Thoughts channel. I definitely appreciate y'all there as well. If you disagree, go ahead and call on up. Over on a deconstruction junction, if you disagree there, go ahead and call on up. All right, so you say you want someone to call me so you can hear my arguments. All right, I mean, cool. Right now, I'm just waiting for any guests to come in, and I'm waiting for anyone to actually do come up and want to talk. What I may do if I see that this is going like super slow, what I might do is that I might actually do something called a reset. What I might do is that I might do a reset real quick, because sometimes this happens when it's hard and the algorithm doesn't push it out. So I might do a reset and just to see if I get some callers. Talking about my deconstruction. Yeah, my deconstruction is an interesting story. No, not that interesting. I don't think is that interesting. But when it comes to my deconstruction, I actually started off my deconstruction like most people, being a believer. You know what I mean? So that's where I started, being a believer, and went to college. and I was able to get more perspectives. I mean, I was able to get more perspective. My entire life was basically the Bible. Just whatever's in the Bible is whatever's true, right? That was essentially my entire life. Then I got to college. I got to see, other perspectives. I got to see other people. And then once I got to see other perspectives and other people, of course, I took a philosophy course because I wanted to take that, right? One of the main reasons, hey, appreciate the sub. One of the main reasons I took that philosophy course is because I wanted to become stronger in the faith. Crazy as it sounds, I thought philosophers were all Christians. Crazy as that sounds, right? That was my initial assumption going into this philosophy course, because I assumed everybody was a Christian until my philosophy professor asked me a question that no one else ever asked me before. How do you know that's true? No one has asked me that question before. Remember, I was inundated. I was raised in the church. My dad is a pastor. You know what I mean? My pops is a pastor. I was being raised in the church to become a pastor. You feel what I'm saying? So no one has ever asked me, how do I know it's true? That's never been asked me before. So because I was asked that, and I was like, of course I know it's true. It's in the Bible, right? And it was like, yeah, just because something is in a book doesn't make it true. You know what I mean? So I had to go ahead and start researching, right? Seeing how do I know this is true? How do I know this is true? And I started finding out some things. I started actually doing, text debates, basically being on forums, being on YouTube, going back and forth, people who don't believe, stuff like that. And I started finding out a lot of things, right? There's no way to show that Adam and Eve is true. I already had my doubts about Adam and Eve is because, it's Adam and Eve already sounds kind of ridiculous, all right, to tell you the truth. So I already had my doubts around there. But when I found out that it was impossible for Adam and Eve to be true, when I found out that there's actually no evidence of Noah's Ark, I always thought that they found Noah's Ark and shit like that. But then I found out that those were lies. I found out that there were no evidence of them finding, the chariots under the Red Sea. That's never been a thing. You know what I mean? When I started finding out those things, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I was debating as a theist first. That was my first thing. I was a theist first, but this was a long time ago. This is when YouTube first started. Remember when YouTube first started, how old YouTube was, and people were always in the comments arguing because not everybody owned a camera back then. Webcams were basically brand new. Remember 240p? Remember 240p? Yeah, people were doing that back then. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, Stetson, you can go ahead and call in, bro. Because again, I don't talk through the comments. You can go ahead and call in. That's where it all started off at, right? So when it started to break down, when I started saying that, okay, these things may not be true, right? But when I found out that, when I started kind of realized that some of these things may not be true, what else may not be true? Yeah, I mean, if Noah's Ark isn't true, then how do I show that Jesus actually rose from the dead? I just made that leap. Yeah, I mean, I had to figure that part out. Then I started seeing the debates over whether Jesus existed or not. Yeah, I mean, that was something that was never on my mind at all, whether Jesus existed or not. Now I'm of the opinion that Jesus did exist, right, as a person, but none of us can go back in time. So how do we know that he actually did the miracles things, walking on water, healing a blind person, all that good shit? How do we know that actually happened? You see what I'm saying? Because I had to go back to what my philosophy teacher said. Just because it's in a book doesn't make it true. Because otherwise Harry Potter is true, right? You know what I mean? So I went through these motions of trying to find out, when I was like, okay, a lot of this shit there's really no evidence behind it. Yeah, I mean, when I was searching for the evidence, I found out that there is no evidence behind any of this. You know what I mean? So I had to ask myself an honest question. Can I believe in something without any evidence to believe it? Can I honestly do that? Because how do I operate in all other parts of my life? If someone tells you something, you gotta believe. You gotta have proof that it's true, bro. Like, I'm not, no one's gullible. You know what I mean? Most people are not gullible. Most people don't operate that way. Most people don't operate on someone gets told something and they automatically believe it. Most people don't operate that way, right? And I know I didn't. So you have to back up what you're saying, right? That's how most people operate. So I have to tell myself, if there's no evidence that this is true, can I actually believe it? The answer to that was no. And then I had to ask myself, do I need it to be a moral person, a good person? I already knew the answers to that was no, because I met plenty of people who didn't believe that were good moral people, right? Do I need it to have purpose in my life? No, because I already had what I thought was my purpose in my life back then. Do I need it to have some drive or some sort of direction? Nah, I didn't. You know what I mean? So if I can't believe something because I don't know if it's true, I don't have evidence for it, and it's not needed for me to live a good life or be a moral person or have a community, then why do I need it? So that's when I stopped believing. This entire process took like 10 years. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. All right. No, bro. I was just stating comments. Love you, though. I encourage you to go search God out yourself. I'm not arguing with people today. All right, then, you can go ahead and go away. Like, I guess. I mean, if you don't want to have the discussion, I'm more than willing to have the discussion. All right. Deconstruction Junction. Hey, I appreciate y'all over on Deconstruction Junction. Have I read the Book of Enoch? The Book of Enoch is actually what my first name is based off of. My father took two words out the Bible and kind of copy pasted them together, and that's what my first name is. My first name is actually very, very unique. I'm not gonna say it on live because I don't need niggas finding me. But I haven't read the entire Book of Enoch, but from what I know in the Book of Enoch, it's all about just the giants and shit. It doesn't really tell us anything. But Book of Enoch doesn't really tell us anything. So I don't think the Book of Enoch is that important, to tell you the truth. It doesn't tell us anything. You know what I mean? All right, Chalk. So keep tapping that screen once again. Keep tapping that screen once again, y'all. I may switch up the topic on the board. If anyone wants to call in, I may switch up the topic on the board. Because I am waiting for calls. All right, we do got a call. All right, 646, how's it going? Can I get your name, age, and what did you want to talk about? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, 646, how's it going? Can I get your name, age, and what did you want to talk about? Hello? (646) Can I get your name? Yeah. All right, y'all. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I don't know what's going on with y'all with y'all phone lines. I don't know what's going on with y'all phone lines. All right, so Burger Sleuth, go ahead and come on up because it seems like you're a Christian. All right, so Burger Sleuth over on my YouTube says Jesus is the truth, hell is real, we all sin, yada yada yada. Go ahead and call in. Go ahead and call in, Burger Sleuth. Yeah, silence is the word, I guess. I guess silence is the word. So Burger Sleuth, go ahead and call in, and we can have that discussion if you would like. Hey, Orenian CT. Yeah, happy Friday. How's it going? Yeah. I don't get what's going on today, Tam. People are calling in, but they're being quiet. We're gonna have to pray for y'all signal. We're gonna have to pray for y'all signal, bro, because my goodness. Yo, Black Atheist Rants is in the chat. Black Atheist Rants is in the chat. What's going on, Black Atheist Rants? What's going on, Bar? Bar is in the chat, y'all. Bar is in the chat. H Bar, I appreciate you being in the chat. Hey, if you could go ahead and have people raid, I would appreciate that, bro. If you can have people raid, I'll appreciate that. Go ahead and bring them all over here, bro. Go ahead and bring them all over here, bro. All right. Someone said that it doesn't work when they call. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know why it's not working when y'all call. Maybe I should put up another phone number here. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put up the other phone number. Okay, I'm gonna put up the other phone number. We're gonna see if that works, because for some reason this one is not working for y'all. So we're gonna put up the other phone number. Okay, we're gonna end this over on cool. We're gonna end this over here. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put up another phone number, y'all. So we're gonna put up another phone number. (786-530-5941). All right, y'all. 786-530-5941. We're gonna go ahead and put up that number, and y'all can call into that. Let's see if that works better for y'all's. All right, so this is what we're gonna do, y'all. 786-530-5941. Go ahead and call that. Go ahead and call that. And let's see if that works better for y'all. 786-530-5941. All right, so I got a new call in. We're gonna see if that works out better, because for some reason the other one was not. I have no idea why not. But we're gonna have a whole new number now. Yeah, so we have a whole new number now. Let's see if that one works out better. So now y'all can call that one. So now I have a whole new number. Y'all can go ahead and call that one. And I may do a reset, tell you the truth. I may do a reset, because we're just not getting the I may do a reset over on TikTok, since we're having trouble with getting some guests. Hey, it's all good, Resist. I appreciate you being here, Resist. Appreciate you. But over on the TikTok, we may do a reset, since we're having, some issues getting guests over here. It'll just be a quick reset, maybe a few minutes, but go ahead and keep tapping that screen, because I do got to go ahead and start winding this down like around 8:30. I got to go ahead and get up and get out of here. Around 8:30, I got to go.
Call from.
All right, how's it going, 646? Can I get your name, age, and what did you want to talk about?
Sure. My name is Shanika, and I am in my 40s.
All right, how's it going, Shanika? What did you want to talk about today?
Hi. So I was listening to you stating how you became an atheist. So I did leave in the comments, but I wanted to tell you, like through our school curriculums, it is specifically designed and set up to teach us alternative thinking so that we lose more self identity more than what we have as a brown people. I'm assuming you're Haitian.
Hmm.
Okay, so to lose your self identity, these are things that I came to understand as well through the school curriculum because they all come from, all the theorists, they come from Europe. If you look at them, you don't see an American theorist, you don't see a Haitian theorist, you don't see a Jamaican theorist, you don't see an African American theorist. They all come from Europe, right?
Okay.
So their purpose is to trip you up so that they then rule over you. Basically, it's still part of colonization and conquering. It's the same methods that they've been using for thousands and thousands of years,
Okay.
right? So why you should believe in God or any God is because of who you are as a person. You're not them, but you're who you are. And if you follow your ethnic group, that goes way back to Africa, which is West Africa, you would see that they did the same thing that you did. And that's how they ended in the same situation. And they believe something different other than what they had. So they're learning that now. They're all coming to realize that they fell into that same cycle of not believing something that belongs to you. Is to take your eyes off from what belongs to you and put your eyes elsewhere. And then they become ruling over you. It's like the same idea that they say they gave us the Bible and then took the land. Same thing.
Okay. Um, this doesn't really give me a good reason to believe in a God. You're saying that I should believe in God because I'm not the other people. I'm not the colonizers. Like that
Right.
doesn't make sense to me.
They're always been atheists.
Hmm.
They don't believe in anything but themselves. That's who they are. So you saying that you're a black atheist or you're an atheist
Hmm.
does not make sense.
How does it not? Because atheism
It
is
doesn't
simply
particularly make sense.
right. Atheism is simply not believing in a God. So if I have no reasons to believe in any gods, then that makes me an atheist because I don't believe them.
Right. You don't believe the stories that's been told to you in regards to who God is. I don't
Right.
think you particularly don't believe God. I think you don't believe the information that has been given to you and pertaining to who God is
Hmm.
because you come from a generation of line of people that believe.
Right, right.
So there's no
Yeah,
way
our
that you,
ancestors believed. I understand that our ancestors believed in
right,
something, right? Our ancestors believed in Shango, Ogun, et cetera, et cetera. I have no reason to believe those
right.
things anyway, right? Like I have no reason to believe that Shango is some deity in the sky that shoots down lightning towards the ground. Like I have no reason to believe that.
You don't have any particular reason to believe that because you didn't participate in the things that happened and occurred when it did happen and occur.
My
And that makes
grandmother
sense
was
for
a
all of us.
my grandmother was a practitioner, so it's like it's not something that I'm unfamiliar with. I just have no reason to believe that it's actually true.
You don't have any reason to believe it's actually true because you want to live another life.
I don't want to live another life. I want to
Because
live a life
if we say to
I want to live a
if you
life
say what
that is
culture,
I want to live a life that is productive, that is happy, that is moral, and that is loving. And that's the type of life that I want to live. I don't need to believe in any gods or Shangos or any spirits for me to do that.
okay, so what you consider happy and peaceful is not believing anything. Is to follow the theorists from Europe, their ideology, and to keep you in alignment and basically what we would say keeping up with the Joneses in order to keep peace,
No,
keep yourself happy, keep yourself so-called successful inside
no.
of a world, which is a holographic realm that they created. They created this holographic realm that you're under.
There's no holographic
So
realm.
in order to
But
keep the
what?
peace,
Hold on. That's what I'm saying to you. All right. So this has nothing to do with Europeans. I'm not sure why I keep bringing this up. Like atheism is
because that's
not
where
atheism. No,
atheism
no,
comes
no,
from.
no. It's not. No, no, it doesn't. Atheism doesn't come from anywhere. Atheism is simply not believing in gods. There are atheists in Africa as well. Are you telling me that every
Okay,
single African who's ever existed throughout all of history, all of them believed in gods? That's not possible. I refuse to believe that. Someone didn't believe something.
no,
Yeah, I mean, so it's not
hold
just
on.
it's not just this is an idea from Europe. No, the idea it's not even an idea. It's a position. It's basically saying these people saying that these spirits and gods and deities exist, and I don't believe it. That's all it is. Has nothing to do with Europe, nothing to do with Africa, nothing to do with any of that.
You said particularly that something triggered you through the curriculum you got from school, right? Something triggered you because you did believe at one point in your
I did
life,
believe
right?
at one point, and then
Okay.
I realized.
So you got triggered.
No, I didn't get triggered.
Through the school curriculum.
Someone asked me a question that I wasn't asked before, which was, how do I know that it's true? Never been asked that before, so I want to go research.
That's a trigger.
So yeah, okay,
That's
whatever.
A trigger.
So let's use trigger. What I'm saying is that what I wanted to go do is research to see why I actually believe this for, and if there's evidence for me to believe that is true. And if I don't have evidence to believe something, why believe it?
Okay. If you don't have evidence to believe something, so you turn your belief system into a scientific project.
No.
Is that what you did?
No.
Yeah, that is what you did. You turned your belief system into a scientific project. So now you're looking for evidence.
No, that's not
of which is already seen. You're looking for evidence of that which is already seen and known. I'm trying to tell you, the people that you're getting this information from and who tricked you.
Tell me what's been seen and known, and how do we know that it's a God?
How do you know that it comes from a God?
Right.
Well, I particularly say creator. Because you came from somewhere. The idea of you came from somewhere, right? Creating you comes from somewhere.
Right. I came from my dad's balls and my mom's eggs.
You did. Okay. And they came from somewhere. And so we can go on and on and on and on. But we can even start from Adam and Eve in a garden. How were they created? Were they created as babies?
Adam and Eve didn't exist.
You don't believe that. So that's the part of atheism that gets a lot of people hung up, because you said that they didn't exist, which is the first human idea of explaining to you the first human and the first man.
Right, but they didn't exist.
First man and first woman or female.
What's crazy about that is that you said I'm having a European idea. This entire thing about Adam and Eve, that's a European idea.
That comes from the idea of an Eastern world, how the Eastern world were created.
Eastern world?
That's the idea that they gave to us so that we understand in our mindset as humans how the Eastern world were designed, because there's worlds on top of worlds on top of worlds.
That makes no sense at all.
No, so that idea and your ancestors comes from the Eastern world.
Right. Now, our ancestors do not come from the Eastern world. Our ancestors come from Africa. So when it comes to Adam and Eve,
which is the Eastern world.
No, it's not. When it comes to Adam and Eve, the ancient Africans did not have that idea. They didn't have an idea of Adam and Eve. Neither did the ancient Indians, neither did the ancient Chinese.
Have you been to West Africa?
I've been to West Africa. No, no. I'm sorry. You're right. I've never been to West Africa. What I'm saying is that
West Africa is where you're from, and they all have this. They all have this idea.
Shaniqua, listen to what I'm saying. I understand they have an idea, but Adam and Eve that idea did not originate in Africa. It originated in the Levant. And not only that, this entire idea of one man, one woman, the first man and first woman, that didn't even come from the Levant itself, because Adam and Eve were not the only humans. If you look into what the ancient Palestinians and ancient Canaanites actually believed, they believe in not only a pantheon of gods, but that there were more humans than Adam and Eve. It's when Christianity reached to Europe. When Christianity reached to Europe. It's when Christianity reached to Europe. That's when they said the first humans were Adam and Eve. So what you're saying is a European idea. Adam and Eve never even existed.
No,
that's not real. They didn't exist.
Listen, and particularly in the Garden of Eden, the trees that are in the garden are other nations. Are other nations. That's what the trees are in the garden. They're other nations.
How do you know that?
Adam and Eve is just basically telling you a new creation.
All right. How do you know that?
This is a new creation of people.
Shaniqua, listen. How do you know that?
Because the Bible tells you Genesis, a beginning. And if you keep reading, it will keep telling you how there were multiple beginnings.
I understand the Bible says that.
Multiple new beginnings. Multiple new heavens and new earth created.
I understand the Bible says that. But just because the Bible says that doesn't make it true. How do you know it's true?
because you don't see it because your eyes have been closed to
That doesn't answer
seeing
my question. That doesn't answer
exactly
my
what you're
question.
reading.
That doesn't answer my question. I didn't ask about me. I asked
I
about
see
you.
it, so I believe it. I
I
see
understand
it.
that you
I
believed it.
see
I
it.
understand that you believed it. I understand that you believe it. I'm asking you, what evidence is there that is true? If I
What
told
evidence
you,
is there that is true? Because
if I told you, let me ask you a question. If I told you that I have $10 billion in a chest in the Bahamas, are you gonna believe me just because I said so?
I'm going to believe you. I
All
don't
right.
need to ask you for evidence for that.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on, guys, because I'm not gonna go ahead and talk to a gullible moron because that's ridiculous. If I told you I had $10 billion in a chest in the Bahamas, you're gonna believe me because I said so. Ain't no way I'm gonna talk to a moron, bro. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this tonight. I'm not doing this tonight, y'all. I'm not. That's not happening. No, 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 no. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all being here. Go ahead and keep the comments going. I appreciate it. Keep tapping that screen. Go ahead, keep tapping that screen. Okay. How much you want to give me? I will help you get your lock open. That's hilarious. All right, guys. I do appreciate y'all being here, y'all. It was particularly a slow night. Um, haven't gotten a lot of calls yet. I think this is because it's a Friday night, which is probably why it's slow. It started off really slow. I mean, started off really slow, but that's all right. That's all right. All right. Let's read some of these comments. It says, "Who knew questions could be triggered? You absolutely need evidence for your beliefs. Otherwise, it's irresponsible." Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that's hilarious. You absolutely should have evidence of your beliefs, guys. Absolutely. You absolutely should have evidence of your belief. I don't know why that's such a controversial a thing to say. But like, yeah, in order for me to believe something, I should, have reason to believe it. Oh my goodness. All right, be genuine to who you are. Don't become a doctor. Yeah, true. Don't become indoctrinated. Always be genuine to who you are. All right, guys. So the call-in number is right up here. I'm gonna be on for maybe another 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Was kind of a slow night, unfortunately. We got kind of a slow start. Um, because like for some reason, like the call-in line was just bad. No one was able to call in. I don't know what was going on with the call-in line, but I went ahead and switched up the number so you guys can go ahead and call in that. East Coast. Yeah, I'm on the East Coast. I'm on the East Coast. All right. So is Donald Trump a degenerate prick? Yes, Donald Trump is a degenerate prick. Degenerate. Ooh, I said that all wrong. Yeah, Donald Trump is a degenerate prick. Yes, he is. All right. Communism is the future. The thing about communism is that it's supposed to be a stateless, money-less society, right? I don't know how we get there. I don't know how we get there. That's the only thing with communism, which is why I think socialism is our next step, and maybe that will lead to communism. It's just I don't know how we get there. I don't know how we get to um what we have now to stateless money society. I honestly, you know what I mean? Now I'm not against the idea. I'm not even against the idea of anarchism. I'm really not. I'm not against those ideas. It's just what is the step to do we get to get there? Because people are going to barter and stuff like that. Right? People are still gonna barter. People are going to put um more value into things than others. I think that's really how currency even started in the first place. That's how currency started because apples were worth for some people were worth more to them than oranges, right? So that's really how currency started to be to come into place in order to equal that out, in order to understand it. But it's like in order to have no currency, how do we get back to that? I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. You know what I mean? I'm not against the idea. I'm not trying to argue you down. You feel me? I'm not against the idea. It's just I just don't know how do we get there. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that all is always with me about communism. Socialism, I think we should move towards that. I think that's a system that's going to be next because as we've seen with China, it works, right? When you have markets, market socialism works out. Market socialism works out. So yeah, we need to build socialist working states. I agree with that. And market socialism works. You know what I mean? The profits you make should be for the betterment of all of society, not just for your pocket. Not just for your pocket. You know what I mean? That's what market socialism is. You still compete in a market society. You can even still make profit, but the profit goes towards the end goal of society, not just, making the CEOs or the shareholders rich. You know, cooperatives basically. Most businesses under market socialism are cooperatives essentially. So I think we should move towards that because workers cooperatives work out. Workers cooperatives are they work in our society. You know what I mean? I think they even work better because the reason why a lot of people don't care about their jobs and just silently quit, do the bare minimum, is because they just need the money and they don't really care about what happens at the job. And we all know your job doesn't care about you. You know what I mean? So that's really why I think if we would go to cooperatives where you actually own part of the business, then that works out a lot better, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The majority of the world right now is market capitalist. So if we do market socialism, then we can still interact economically with the rest of the world, which is kind of what China does essentially. Am I too low? I didn't know I was that low. I didn't know I was low. I didn't know that she was high and I was low. Maybe that's better. Maybe that'll work out better. I didn't realize that she was high and I was low. Sorry about that, y'all. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize she was high and I was low. I went ahead and put it up. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and probably be on for just another few minutes. I'm not gonna do a reset because it's like there'll be no point of that now. So I won't do a reset. Unfortunately, slow night. Okay, here we go. Another caller.
Call from
Billy?
All right, Billy, how's it going? Can I get your age and what did you want to talk about?
Yes, I'm 57 years old, and I'm assuming you still have the same list that you had before about America was never great, um, Christianity is not real, left wing policies are better than right wing policies, and something along those lines, or did you change it?
Well, the list I have now is being woke is good. Why should I be a conservative? Why should I believe in any God? Holy books are claims, not evidence, and abolish ICE.
Okay, we can go with why should I be conservative and abolish ICE for the two topics of
Sure. Why
today.
should I be a conservative?
Yeah, because I just think economically, if you give tax cuts, and pretty much you already know this talking point that I'm about to spew, that gives more consumer power. And for the working class, usually that means when they have more money in their pockets, they tend to spend it on necessities, which boost the macro economy.
Okay. Yeah. The thing is, trickle down. We've been doing that for the past 40 years, and we see that doesn't work. What happens is that just the wealthy just hoard the wealth at the top and don't reinvest into the economy. Like
No,
the wages are just now trying to keeping up with inflation, but usually it doesn't. Like what you're talking about with the whole tax cut thing is it seems to work in theory, but in practice, what we've been doing for the past 40 years with Reaganomics, it just doesn't.
Yeah, but notice I said giving tax cuts to the working class. I didn't say anything about the wealthy. So you mentioning about trickle down economics doesn't suit well with what I'm trying to explain.
Okay, so tax
So
cuts to the
giving
working class. All right, which taxes should be cut, and and how do we it like okay, here's what I'll say about tax cuts, right? Everybody loves tax cuts, all right?
mm,
And I'm all good and well with that. I'm all good and well with tax cuts, right? Um, but what I would say is that number one, when the conservatives get into positions of power, they actually rarely do that. They give more taxes to the wealthy than to the working class, and which is why like it's I don't vote for them. But the second thing that I would say is that after we get those tax cuts, what is going to happen next? What do we do? How do we still fund the things that we need to fund in order to keep our society and economy going? Because taxes can't be zero, right? So what do we do to fund the things that we need to fund, like education, like infrastructure, things like that?
yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm saying tax cuts, but that doesn't automatically mean it's gonna completely eradicate government's revenue. It's there's a domino effect because when you give out tax cuts to the working class, that actually boosts the business that they go into shop. And am I right about that or wrong?
It's a mixed bag. um
I'm not exactly sure how that's a mixed bag when they have more money in their now. Specifically talking about the working class. We can have a debate all day on whether um, the wealthy in America is hoarding it or actually reallocating those resources for research and development, which
mhm.
bring out better products such as new car models. When we talk about video game
Right, I
consoles,
got you, I got you, I got you.
there's
So,
plenty of
I'm
examples.
actually that's actually what I'm talking about the working class. The evidence for it is mixed. When we say that they're going to go ahead and reinvest into the economy, into businesses. That's more of that's why I say it's a mixed bag. It's more of mixed evidence. Some evidence says that it does in a short term and it teeters off in a long term. Some says that it doesn't really do anything at all, and some says that yeah, it does encourage investment. So the evidence really is mixed. We don't really know, but I would say that whenever you cut taxes, right, you do cut government
Mhm.
revenue. That does happen, but the question is going to be, will government revenue start to increase later with more economic activity because taxes are cut? Again, it's mixed. We don't really know.
Okay, so I'm strictly talking about conservative policies that would help the working class, which, if you can look at it at face value, um, the working class having more money in their pocket is generally better for them in their personal household. So I'm not talking about government revenue, which funds infrastructure, education, and things of that nature. I'm just strictly talking about on a micro level,
Hmm.
dealing with individual levels, handling their personal affairs in their household.
Right. Wouldn't an increase in wages also do that?
Well, the federal minimum wage is at 7.25,
Hmm.
and I've said this numerous times on other political channels that there's hardly any job that offers 7.25
Right.
because people aren't going to willingly apply for those jobs um, if they can't use those resources to pay off their bills and grocery costs, they're going to search for other jobs that has similar job duties that pay a little bit more in a close vicinity.
Hmm. Right. I know. I get that. Right. So, like I said, um, middle class tax cuts, they can stimulate the economy in the short term. I'm not disputing that, right? The reason why I say that long term it's more debated is because we see that the disposable income kind of teeters off as inflation rises and stuff like that. I'm not saying that it won't do that in the short term. We're talking long term, right? Because you can keep cutting taxes, but long term, does it actually affect the economy? It's more of a mixed bag. We need to look at things more than just, but when it comes to helping the middle class, we need to look at things that about more than just cutting their taxes. We gotta look at other expenses, like childcare is a huge expense, health care is a huge expense,
Mhm.
maintaining their homes is another huge expense. We gotta look at those other expenses, and that's where I think the left comes in with better policies that would cut out that would take those expenses away, and those give them more money.
And can you please elaborate how left wing policies benefit with what you just alluded to?
Yeah, universal healthcare. We have universal healthcare. They're not gonna have to worry about paying not only just hospital bills and worrying about going bankrupt if they have an emergency, but also because the healthcare is universal. They don't have to take their employer's healthcare or pay into a private healthcare system, which is gonna charge them out the ass, and they can save money that way. If you have more uh if you have better infrastructure, and when it comes to like public transportation, there we go, that's what I was reaching for. If you have better public transportation, you save money monthly on your vehicle maintenance and yearly on your vehicle maintenance as well. I think yearly the middle class spends at least anywhere from 1,500 to upwards to like $6,000 yearly on their vehicle, just maintaining it. You see what I'm saying? But if we had public transportation in walkable cities, they don't have to have your car anymore. So that's an expense you don't have to worry about anymore. Um, when it comes to, for example, childcare, if we had universal pre-K or universal daycare, then parents are not going to be paying, $2,000, $3,000 a month on, well, not $3,000 a month. I'm sure it's not that, but basically, $200 a week or $300 a week on daycare centers, essentially, if the daycare is universal, so it's subsidized and they save money that way. You know what I'm saying? These are left wing policies that we would like to put in that will actually save parents money and give them more time with their children. Um, because there's a like just like I said, public transportation, not spending hours or like an hour and a half of your day sitting in traffic. You know what I mean? You could take the train home, get home in about 15 to 20 minutes, and you spend more time with your kids. You see what I'm saying? So like these are walkable cities, for example, is another thing. Walkable cities means that anything that you need is at least a 10 to 15-minute walk away from you. So if your job is a 10-minute walk away and the groceries are a 10-minute walk away, guess what? You're spending a lot more time with your family because you don't have to commute for 30 to 45 minutes to your job. You don't have to commute 20 minutes to go to the grocery store. It's a 10-minute walk and you could go ahead and come back. You spend more time with your family. Yeah, I mean,
No,
so
I hear.
yeah.
So, universal healthcare, right? That would mean that people are more likely to visit the hospital, even though it's like something minuscule, which will cause longer lines, if I'm not mistaken.
No, not necessarily. We have long
Do
lines
you see
now.
the domino? Yeah, but wouldn't it make it worse
No,
if
because
people had more access and instead of prolonging it or switching to healthcare remedies or
no, because when people prolong it, they die. Like this is something personal for me too. You know what I mean? Because
that's a
be,
very good point, but I'm talking about the domino. You don't think that will cause longer lines?
no, because like that doesn't happen anywhere else. So why would happen here?
So a longer waiting period doesn't happen in countries that implement universal healthcare.
No, we actually
Are
have
you sure
longer.
about that?
We actually have longer wait times in countries that do have universal healthcare.
So, like if it's not a life-saving surgery, they're not waiting longer to get that. Is that what you're telling me, sir?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. We actually have
Okay.
longer wait
I
times in countries that have universal healthcare.
strongly recommend that you look up incidents in Australia and Canada that already have these type of policies in place, and see if like non-life threatening surgeries take a much longer waiting process,
Right. I'm
because
like
I don't
I'm pretty
believe
sure
that
you're going to I'm pretty sure you're gonna be fine. You're gonna find incidences. I'm talking about on average, their wait times are shorter than ours. If it's non-life threatening, then yeah, you're gonna wait. You're gonna wait for the person who has a more threatening situation. That's just common sense. That happens here too.
so let's just say that if the injury is non-life threatening, right, and it's a long waiting period for them to get a surgery. So obviously, you still have to commit to activities of daily living. Wouldn't that be a higher risk of worsening the injury if it's not being addressed,
That depends on what
despite
the
it not being a life-saving, it not being like jeopardizing your life?
that depends on what the injury is and what we're talking about. Like if you have a broken arm, they're not gonna wait 3 months to set the arm, right? So it's not necessarily life threatening, but they're not gonna wait months to do that. So it really depends on the situation and what's going on. It's not really just, oh, your thing is not life threatening, therefore we're not gonna do anything about it. That's not really what happens.
So I'm just, but there's still a longer waiting period when it's not life threatening. So here's the domino effect, right? If you sustain an injury and this doesn't meet the requirements of it being so severe, you're going to have to wait a longer period, which would increases the risk of you worsening that injury because you still have to do activities of daily living.
That
You
depends on
worsening that injury,
But again, that
sir.
depends on what we're talking about, bro. Isn't there?
Yeah,
If,
but
like I said, if you have an injury, like if you need a knee replacement, a knee replacement is not life threatening, but you're gonna get the knee replacement. It's not like there's gonna be no one who sees you for your knee replacement. You know what I mean? Like these are things that, like, they're not gonna have some 75-year-old man walk on a knee that doesn't have cartilage on it. That's not gonna happen. That's what I say. It really depends on what you're talking about in your injury. And we literally do the same thing over here. You go to the person who has the more critical situation. You're not gonna go to someone who doesn't have the critical situation. And the things when it comes to the longer lines for non-life threatening, like I said, that happens everywhere. Like, we're not any different. But you're saying that in these areas they're more unique than us because their non-life threatening things take longer than ours. I don't see that even at that as being the case. Like, overall, their wait times are shorter than ours for everything, threatening or non-life threatening. So, like, you
so
could find incidences, I'm sure, but those incidences
mhm.
are highly unique and are more complex than they waited to do surgery and a person died. That's not It's not as simple as that. Yeah, I mean, there's way more to this than just that.
So how about it eliminating the chances of you having the doctor that you so desire?
It doesn't.
Universal healthcare doesn't do that.
No. The industry we have now does that, because if you want to see a doctor but they're not in your network, that's what your insurance is going to say. You can't see them, or they're not going to pay for it. Universal healthcare, it's whatever. Everyone's gonna get paid for anyway. You go to wherever you want.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I definitely have to double check on that. But if you're right, I do appreciate you correcting me on that issue. So we've already addressed the universal healthcare part, and I brought up domino effects, which you think that it's not that serious because you don't believe that is so much of a waiting time that will prevent the injury from worsening due to daily activities that you have to do throughout the day. But I disagree on that. But that's we can't have a compromise here. There is either you believe me or not. So let's. Do you want to switch the topic, or do you want to stick to like social wealth, socialistic programs?
I think you want to talk
Still,
about. I think you want to talk about ICE.
oh, okay. So I do believe that ICE should still be put in place because if I'm not mistaken, there's the number ranges from 10 to 14 million illegal immigrants there. And if you eliminate ICE, how are you able to constrain that problem from exploding even further?
The same thing we did before ICE existed. Like we had immigration enforcement before ICE. So
Oh, okay. But has the number increased or decreased throughout since Ronald Reagan's tenure?
it depends. Because it really fluctuates year by year. I would say in general it went up. Um, but that's because we never actually fixed our immigration system. Ronald Reagan, one of the few things I agree with him on, he did amnesty, which is something that just needed to happen, right? There were just too many people here, and no, you're not gonna be able to get them all out. So he just did amnesty. I think we should just do that again. We just need to do that again, do amnesty. But we actually have to go ahead and address and fix our immigration system. Getting rid of the red line, the red tape that is in there. Make the line shorter, get more people, get more judges to process cases. Um, this is something that a lot of people on the left probably would disagree with me on, but I'm not typically against more border patrol. Yeah, I mean, I'm not
Hmm.
typically really hard line on that. But when it comes to ICE, we've seen that the abuse of power ever since it started, not just by putting kids in cages, but by harassing citizens, harassing legal immigrants, deporting people who shouldn't have been deported, and raping people, like multiple cases of that. Yeah, I mean, now Border
Okay.
Patrol has its
So
issues, but at least there's actual training that happens there, and the ones who are abusive are fired or and are not never in the system. There has to be much more done with police overall, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, but ICE is just a Gestapo organization; it doesn't need to exist anymore.
so there are incidents where they have abused their power, but are they the one that are instigating it, or is it the other way around where people are going into striking distance and yelling out obscenities and shoving cameras in the ICE agents' faces? And when the ICE agent tells them to step back numerous of times, they refuse to follow that order. Who's aggravating the situation in
ICE.
that incident?
ISIS, because it's never just that simple. One thing that we've researched about policing in America over and over and over again is that majority of the times they're the ones escalating the situation. Like ICE always does that. They've all like us. Someone yelling obscenities and recording you is not a reason to fly off the handle and attack the person. It's just not,
Absolutely
because
not. But
right. So
if they start to fear for their life because you're approaching them in such a close proximity, and they tell you over and over again to please give them some distance, and you refuse to do so, are you going to, if you're in that position, are you going to take that as a threat or not?
I'm
Say
not.
if you were doing running your errands, right, and someone is approaching you and they're shoving a camera up in your face and they keep getting closer and closer and closer, and you have no idea what this person's intentions are, and you tell them to step back numerous of times, and instead of following that order, they do the exact opposite and get closer to your personal space. Like, what is your gut instinct going to tell you to do?
It's not analogous.
It is a
It's not
split second decision there.
it's not really analogous because like in that situation I'm just a regular person, right? But ICE are
Hmm.
supposed to be trained law enforcement and they need to know how to de-escalate, and if they don't know how to do that, why do they exist?
But that's what they're exercising. They're telling uh, the person to please step back and give them distance
Right, and that's the
numerous
issue
times. So
because
isn't that de-escalating the situation
but
or
that,
not?
but that's the thing when it comes to that, right? We've seen these recordings happen all the time. The people
Hmm.
are step back. They are just recording the situation. It's ICE that escalates it even more because number one, you don't need 7 people to attack one person and beat on them. That's not
Hmm.
necessary to do. So if that's happening, of course, everyone is going to get excited about the situation and are going to want to record it even more and are going to want to step in because you have 7 people beating on one person. Yeah, I mean, like for example, let's take your situation for example. Let's say me and a group of friends of mine are all beating up on one person, and we're all like, hey, and someone comes around like, hey, shoving cameras on our face, asking us what we're doing, and I'm like, step back, step back. What do you think is gonna happen? People are gonna become more excited because yeah, you're beating on somebody, and you don't need
Okay.
all 7 of y'all to do that, and that's usually
So
what the
let's
police does, including ICE.
All right, okay. So let's just put it in your framework. ICE is bad. We abolish them. We give amnesty to 11 million people, right?
Hmm.
So that would automatically means that businesses have to increase wages, right?
Good.
Good.
Yes, because with
And
those
how are they
people,
gonna? And are they gonna absorb that labor cost or lay off people
no, they're gonna
to
absorb the
protect
costs.
their profit margin?
They're going to absorb the costs and their profits are going to go up because now you have more people in the economy.
So the illegal immigrants that are working in that industry, they now have more options to go to another job
Hmm.
because they're not in threat of getting deported, and so businesses are not able to take advantage of them,
This is
right?
all good.
So,
You're really
so
telling me all
this is
good
all good,
things.
right?
Yeah, this is all good.
So wouldn't that industry still suffer a high turnover rate if you give them amnesty?
Which industry? Depends on the industry we're talking about.
The agricultural field, like such as like picking fruits, the service industry,
I mean, those already have high.
hospitality,
Yeah, those already have high
construction.
turnover rates. So they already have high turnover rates already. So
Okay, but wouldn't it worsen because now they have more options?
no, I don't think it would. It would worsen. Now they can just demand that they pay them not only just pay them a fair wage, but those people are going to be freely be able to move in the economy, and those who are working in construction but are better off
Mhm.
working in like nursing or insurance or something like that will be able to go over to those industries and take their talents there. Like the economy is going to keep moving on because now you have the talented people who are going to be where they need to be, and now you have the people who want to stay in those jobs will probably stay, but they'll be able to get better wages at that point. And if they're able to get
Okay,
better wages, they're able to spend that money into the economy, and it keeps on going and growing.
so it's morally right to reward people who went through illegal channels, either through crossing illegally or overstaying their visas, and penalizing the people who are going through the legal channels but have to wait a certain time to become citizens. Reward the people that did it wrong by giving them immediate amnesty, but let the people uh, who went through legal channels having to wait their turn.
I
Does
mean,
that sound morally right to you?
Yes, I mean, what we can do is that
Yes.
we don't have to do it like that, right? We don't have to say, okay, these people who are undocumented and illegal, we're gonna give them all amnesty, but all you guys who are waiting, oh well, you're shit out of luck. We don't have to do that. We can just go ahead and
No,
process
I'm
it
not
all.
saying shit out of luck. They still have to obey the waiting process because they're not granted amnesty.
Right.
But the
What I'm saying
people
is
who
that
went through
what I'm saying
illegal
is that
channels are. Does
so
that make any sense?
what I'm saying is that we don't have to do that. They can all just be processed immediately as well. Like
So
it,
there's everyone gets amnesty,
yeah, it
like
doesn't have to
just
be
a
one. Yeah,
magic
exactly.
wand, and voila.
Amnesty to all. Yeah, exactly. That's how it was done under Ronald Reagan. People who were in the line waiting, people who were getting their paperwork in the court dates. Yeah, I mean, now if you just applied last week, like of course, like that's you're probably gonna be waiting. But people who are just in the process already, who are in the line, who are doing their court dates, and those who came in undocumented, yeah, all of them, you all just got processed. Now you're all citizens. We don't have to go ahead and tell these people, oh, well, you have 3 more court dates, but this guy who just came in last week, he's a citizen, but you're not because you have 3 more court dates. No, we don't gotta do that. We just gotta be like, okay, everyone who has 3 more court dates, including the guy who just came in last week, citizens now.
Okay. So how about it taking its effect on disrupting the cultural norms?
What cultural norms?
So obviously, people from different backgrounds, right,
Mm-hmm.
are gonna force their culture into America's culture. Should America have to play second fiddle in order to assimilate to their culture, such as um, learning their language because now there's such a huge influx of them. Jobs are now going to require people to upgrade their skills and be bilingual, and which they didn't have to before. And we're already seeing that in certain industries,
I
such
mean,
as call center representatives
that's always
that
been a
are now.
yeah, need to know Spanish. Yeah, I mean that's kind of always been a thing. Is it not? I mean, like I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, like when it says when you say play second fiddle, I don't think they're playing second fiddle to anything. And so to survive in America, you're gonna learn English anyway, right? At least that's what Haitians do. We learn English anyway. But when
Mhm.
it comes to culture, right? Cultures always shift. Like this is got to kind of getting into a great replacement. Like just because a whole bunch of people are now citizens of this country, the language is going to change. Of course, that doesn't happen. Yeah, I mean, like the language of France is still French, right? Because everyone who became a citizen there, whether undocumented or not, they know French. Yeah, same thing in
I'm
America.
not saying that the dominant language is going to change. I'm just saying that it's going to affect job requirements in certain industries because now is going to be more beneficial for you to exert more time into learning a second language to be placed above other candidates, which that didn't have to be the case.
Yeah, that's all. That's always been the case. What's wrong with learning a new language?
Okay, so why is that fair?
I mean, like that's we live in a capitalist society. Like you need if you need more skills or we're going to interact with more people, you're gonna need to learn the language. Like like companies now, right? They're highly gonna be seeking people who speak Spanish because there's a whole continent of customers down there, right? So speaking Spanish is gonna be an advantage. Same thing as speaking Mandarin because there's a whole continent of people who can you can do business with. So
But
a
now,
second language is
ins-
always going to be an advantage.
yeah, but now instead it being just enhancing your resume, some jobs are gonna require it to
Require
be
it, yeah,
mandatory, which we're already seeing.
right. Of course, they're going to
Why is that
require it
fair
because
for?
their customer base has expanded.
So wouldn't that lower? Wouldn't that be a hindrance to the company because now they're pretty much suffering a labor shortage since it's such a quick transition that people because it takes years for you to master a language.
Hmm.
So since the cultural shift has been favoring to people who just got amnesty who shouldn't be here in the first place, what I'm trying to explain is wouldn't that cause a labor shortage because people can't instantly master Spanish in a day or two,
Of
and
course,
that
people
actually
can't.
takes years
Of course, people
to
can't instantly.
search for talent?
Right. Of course, people can't instantly master Spanish. I understand that, right? And I don't think
Hmm.
that's what's gonna happen. Like the next day after amnesty, all of a sudden everybody has to speak Spanish. It's like, there's gonna be a transition period. But yeah, like companies are requiring more people to speak the language because that's what their customer base is. Yeah, I mean, and and at the end of the day, that's that's there's nothing we can do about that, bro. Like if majority of this country had immigrants from France, French would have been a required language for a lot of these places. Like it's I don't really know what's that's just how markets work. You know what I mean? Like we could call it
No, I
unfair.
hear you.
Yeah, it's just how it works. You know what I mean? So
Like I, like I said, I'm just looking at the domino effect on how the culture power dynamics can change in a drop of a dime if you give these people amnesty. And now, you know, people are going to have to assimilate to their culture, such as, mastering languages because now they have to provide customer service
yeah, that's
to,
these
and
are all good things.
I'm not exactly sure how that's a good thing when before they didn't have to
It's not a good thing to learn a new
master.
language, bro. Like,
No, it is a good thing. I mean, it's good to enhance your resume, but to actually make it mandatory in a country that's been English dominant for centuries now, I think that's actually to fall in the category of invasion.
no, I disagree. The
English, no,
reason
not really,
why
dominant for centuries now.
I
I
disagree.
think
The
that's
reason why
actually to fall in the category of invasion. Sorry if I'm not
no, I
articulating my
disagree. The
English
reason,
very well, but
but
the definition of immigrant is the ambitions to move to another country and
right, right.
reside there
Okay, hold on.
permanently.
Let me just say the reason why I disagree that that has to do with invasion is because
Hmm.
an invasion is literally taking over a country in a hostile manner. That's not what's going on here. Just
Hmm.
because there are more people who speak Spanish and know Spanish, and now companies are going to require it, which is something that's going to happen anyway because more Spanish speaking people means that their customer base is now going to go ahead and expand is not really a hostile takeover of the country. Is not war. You know what I'm saying? This just the market is shifting, and now the market requires more Spanish. Before it didn't. Now it does. That's just the way it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like there's gonna be a time
No,
where my job is probably not gonna be necessary anymore because that's the way the market works. You know what I'm saying I'm not really sure what we're kind of getting at.
no, I'm pretty sure the Native Americans view the settlers trying to implement their way of life as a hostile takeover.
Right, but no one's trying to do that, bro.
Anytime you,
But
any,
what I'm saying is that no one's trying to do that. No one's trying. The thing is what I've always said, what I've always pointed out is that a lot of people, particularly white people, tend to think that what they've done in the past is what everybody else is going to do. That's not necessarily true. Just because
mm,
like just because like the white settlers came over here and they took over the land, killed women and children and made everything else their country and their language and everything else, that doesn't mean that's what everybody else is going to do just because they immigrate into America. Like a lot of these people are going to learn English within the first couple of years and are going to assimilate into the culture of America. Yeah, I mean there are a lot of people right now who have the last name Sanchez and Ramirez and Gonzalez and Tejerina, and you wouldn't be able to tell them apart from any other white American. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's gonna happen.
yeah, I'm not putting them all in one basket. I know there's people with like I'm not sure if I'm using the correct term, like Hispanic or Latino common names, and they're American citizens that can speak English fluently. All I'm trying to say that there's going to be an interference in the culture that has been normalized for centuries, and now people here that's used to a certain way of life have to adjust to a minority group,
What in the
which is
culture do
not
you think is
exactly
going
fair.
to shift? Because the dominant language is still going to be English, and the dominant philosophy is still going to be American exceptionalism. That's all still going to be the philosophy
Yeah.
and the language. So what is that is going to
So
change?
yeah, I've already stressed enough about certain job requirements,
That's always going to be the
switching
case,
to
bro. That's always going to be the
beneficial
case.
to
In
mandatory.
in 50 years, Mandarin is going to be the new job requirement. Like I bet you that's going to be the case in 50 years because China is going to be the number one economy
Okay,
by then. You know what I mean?
so so hear me out. So we already know that the demographic dynamics is going to shift in 2040 or 2050. Let's say you grant amnesty to people that came here illegally, right? That's 2050, 2060. Obviously, like some of these people are going to, indulge in the political apparatus, and some are going to, win office. Do you think their mindset is going to be more lenient towards people who have been illegally crossing the border, and now there's going to be another amnesty policy put in place?
No, if, as from what we
No.
seen with the last
So,
election, what we see with the last election, that didn't happen. They were actually more harsh to the people
sir,
who wanted amnesty.
yeah, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about 2050, 2060, 2065.
Right,
We
right.
already know that the demographic is going to change. The minority is now going to become the majority, right? Since there's whites are suffering low birth rates in this country, so there's going to be more people of color that have congressional power, whether it's through the legislative, judicial, or the executive branch. Now, these people who had their ancestors um, that were granted amnesty, you- it's there's a high probability, right, that they're going to be lenient when it comes to issues for granting amnesty for illegals coming through.
No,
No, they're all of a
because
sudden is
again,
gonna change their mind and be
no, because again,
immigration hawks.
because again, I can take the Cubans as an example. The Cubans don't lean that way,
Okay.
and they've got amnesty. You know what I'm saying? So it's like like it's more complicated than what you're making it, bro. Like there are a lot of
Yeah, I
Cubans
know,
who
but I,
there are a lot of
I
Cubans
know what you're talking about.
there are a lot of Cubans who don't agree with what's going on today, right? But the majority of Cubans voted for Trump. Yeah, I mean, and they knew that he was going to do mass deportations. And not only that, even though they're the number one Hispanic group that's getting deported, they still support him. So it's not going to be what you think it is. Like it's going to be much more complicated than that.
Yeah, what you're talking
I
about
do got to
are
get out of here
Cubans
though,
in
man. I do got to get
Florida.
out of here, man. I do appreciate you, but I got to get out of here, guys. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, but I do appreciate all y'all being here. I did get a call recently, and this person left a voicemail. I'm not sure if y'all want to listen to that voicemail, but apparently this guy had a lot to say. So let's go ahead and give him a call back. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and give him a call back, right? Since he had a lot to say, we're gonna go ahead and give him the attention that he wanted. I know, babe. I'm almost done. We're gonna go ahead and give him the attention that he wanted. Now he doesn't want. Yo,
No,
yeah. So why do you want me to kill myself?
What?
Before I kill myself, should I bang your mom?
Who the fuck is this?
You're the one who called into my show and told me to kill myself.
What the fuck are you talking about, nigger?
Yeah, I know that was coming. We all knew that was coming. Exactly. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, y'all. I do appreciate y'all being up here. We're gonna go ahead and end this live today because I'm pretty hungry. I'm gonna go ahead and go out with wifey. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Um, Remember to go ahead and subscribe. Trill, I do apologize. I didn't get you up, but that's just because I'm trying to get out of here because we gotta get something to eat. All right, but I do appreciate y'all. I'm gonna be back on tomorrow at 3:30. Y'all are wonderful. Remember, y'all, to drink water, hug your family. You never know when people are gonna go away. And remember to stay blessed, y'all. And I got one last thing for y'all. I just want to say that oh, sorry. All right, guys, we're gonna go. I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, y'all. I just want to say that for all the young men out there, I know it's a loneliness epidemic, but don't worry, you are okay. We all still love you, and remember that every man should be soft. That means secure, affectionate, wise, flexible, and trustworthy. Every man should be soft. All right, y'all. I appreciate it. I love y'all. Have a good night.